guys in the beginning that we were gonna get some nuggets today, and man, did our SMDs so far deliver? Yeah. All right, you guys still fired up? Yeah. All right, this next guy coming to the stage, man, you know, it's been said before in this business, the closer you are to your upline, the closest person that hangs around Eric usually makes the most money. Well, this is true when it comes to this next guy. This next key person is going to be the next executive. That comes out of Genesis Empire. He's loyal, and this guy's loyal, man. Definition of loyalty. Loyal, like one day, I want to be like Wisely and I want to have a Wisely, you know what I mean? Ambitious. Ambitious, he wants to win big for his family, wants to win big for his team. But most importantly, he's respectful. Man, respect. As a man or a person with high identity, respect is everything. And this guy's definitely earned my respect. I love this guy. I love going on KTPs with him and and just letting him talk, you know, like, I ask one question, I just listen, like, all right. I drive a little slower on purpose if we got time. If not, I cut people off. Get out of the way, I'm on a KTP. But he's definitely one of the most mentally tough people I know. This guy's rock solid. All right. So this next guy I want to bring up, somebody I truly look up to. So please help me welcome Wisely Chen!
From the beginning of the song. Anybody know that song?
Yeah.
The one that just played?
Yeah. Macklemore.
Yeah, it's Macklemore. I want to read you a couple of lyrics. And this song really inspires me quite a bit. I play it every time, practically every day, basically every day. So just really quick. I don't have a lot of time. But anyways, so this is the third verse. Or part of the third verse, right? It's like, I took my weakness and turned it into a weapon, and when everybody doubted me, I turned that to my leopard. So I stand on the stage, it wasn't planned, see that it was destined. Look at 50,000 people with their hands onto the heavens and said, I'm not gonna die tonight. You can't kill me, not my spirit. History is ours tonight. The people are chanting, can't you hear it? Didn't come this far to lose, won't let death make a move. Might not mean much to you, but I died for this W. Let my life be something to prove. Every scrape, every fight, every cut, every bruise. Lay it on the line, I rewrite these rules. Victory's in my sight, I will not lose. I mean, that is the pure definition of what we go through every single day in WFG. Think about it. There's so much adversity, so much struggle. And my topic today is going to be talking about coachability and alignment. And man, if it wasn't for Eric and his support and just his amazing mentorship, there's no way in hell I would be able to go through some of the things, be able to come out on top because of some of the things we had to go through the last few years, right? But before I get into that, I have a couple of things. This is particular just to ELB. So when Eric hit CEO, he announced that we were going to have a CEO trip. All the SMDs are going, and we get to take we take one person from our base shop. So I'm going to announce the winners from Evolution and from ELB. So from Evolution, right? It wasn't too close. Number one kind of just took off, won by quite a bit. I'll tell you who number two was though. You guys ready? Number two was Marco Formalejo. It's okay, give it up. Alright, so congratulations to Juan Tejeda. You're going to be coming with us. Now, in our base shop, it was really close. Really, really close. Literally, if this one person got one more direct recruit, they would have won. If they wrote one more policy, because on personal production, they only won by 700 points.
Wow.
Right? It's a golf score of 7 and then a golf score of 8. Right there. So you just worked a little bit harder, you would have been there with us. And I'm really excited. They're both women. Right? They're both great people. They're both committed. And regardless of who wins, this time I know they're going to continue to fight and battle 2 horses in my base shop. And number 2, she's really great. I love this person so much. You guys ready?
Yes.
Number 2 is Rosa Gomez. So congratulations, Calvo, for becoming Okay, I only have 25 minutes. I already took up 5 of it. All right. So you earned it. All right. So in order for us to understand what coachability and really make sure how we can be coachable, we have to understand the roles of the coaches in our lives, right? So I'm going to give you 6 things and 6 points of what a good coach or mentor is supposed to be for you, because you have to learn from a good coach if you ever have hopes to become one, right? So the first thing that a coach is supposed to be able to do for you is be a great role model. Integrity is everything. A role model in your life should be a person that tells you they're going to do something and they actually follow through with it. They're an example of success in the areas of life that you want to. If I don't care about, I don't know, knitting, for example, right? And would I choose a world-class knitting champion to be my mentor? No. Probably not, right? Well, I mean, and this talk is really going to be centered on Eric because, I mean, he's changed my life, and there's a lot of lessons in what he's been able to do for me that I think that I can really apply to everybody else in here. The first time I met Eric, we actually was at BPM, but we didn't have that much long of a conversation that day. It was the day after, and that same week we went to Savoy, right? We had lunch. What was originally scheduled as a half-an-hour lunch turned into a 4.5-hour lunch. And we just talked and talked and talked, but the most important thing that I got from Eric that day was, man, this is a person that has the life that I want. This is a person that you know, the way that he treats people, the life that he leads, just every aspect of his life, I want to have. And I've been able to follow him, and he helped out his mom. I mean, I was raised by a single mother, and being able to retire, buy my parents a house, buy my mom a house, give her, you know, extra money every single month, that was everything in the world to me. And the beautiful thing about it, he didn't put me down on anything that I was already doing. I was going to school, I had a 6-figure job lined up. He didn't say, oh, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 business is always better. No, he listened to me and got into my head and helped me understand, well, you know what? He's a person that I want to follow, I can follow, and I know is going to be able to take me to the top. Okay? So that's your number 1 role as a coach. Think about it. You have a role model. We all do it in Eric. Well, are you a role model for the people on your team? I'm not saying you have to be wealthy. I'm not saying you have to be, extremely, it's not about the Rolexes, the nice suits, it's not about all of any of that. That's nice. That's going to come later on. That's going to be, not the next chapter, maybe in the next 5 or 10 chapters in your life. But are you a good person? Do you treat people the right way? Are you smiling? Right? Maybe I don't have the most moral authority for that, not always smiling. But every time you have a conversation with me, I may not be the most energetic person, but I'm excited. Yeah. I'm positive. Yeah. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to tell you you're going to be able to do it. Only if I believe it, by the way. I don't talk out of my butt. Okay? Number 2 is they're going to be your counselor. No, I don't mean they're going to be your mom. And they're going to listen to all your problems and hear you crying and complaining about every little thing. Okay? But we're not superheroes. None of us are impervious and fallible to the things that come into our lives. The biggest challenge that we're ever going to have is making it through life. We're gonna have ups, we're gonna have downs in our personal lives, in our business lives. You need some, like Daniel said it perfectly, right? You're not gonna be able to get through it alone. And we gotta understand that as coaches and as students, right? I can name 1,000,001 times where my business was down and I needed counsel from Eric. From a mental perspective, not necessarily system, we'll get to that in a second, but from a mental perspective, I always believed, my biggest thing is I always believed in Eric. I always believed in helping people, but in the beginning, my belief that WFG was the vehicle, that wasn't there, right? Even till this day, I mean, obviously I love the business now, I know this is the model, we're gonna do this for life, right? I'm only 25, that means I can do this for 50 years, right? And I fully intend to, okay? But if Eric were to go, hey, you know what? We're taking off, we're going to another opportunity that's better because the direction of the company has changed, I'm going right there with him.
Yeah, of course.
It was the belief I had in him and how he helped me through my business, right? Personal life, I mean, a lot of you guys know, some of you guys maybe you don't, I have a grandma that's going to turn 104 on Tuesday. Wow. Right? So that's amazing. 3 digits. I talk to my grandma all the time. She was born before World War I. She served in World War II. All the major assassinations you can think of, I don't know if it's a really good topic, but she was alive and remembers. Well, at least before the Alzheimer's, right? But when before the business, it used to bother me so much and hurt me so much because I wasn't able to accept mentally that she's not the same person anymore. And he helped me through that. He didn't have to, but he did. Right? So your role as a coach and as a student is you got to be there for your people. We got chosen, Sophia and I, we got chosen to talk about 2 really, really important topics, right? Building relationships with your team, that way they can stay around. Being coachable, because you can do 99% of the things right. You can be the most talented person in the world. You can know the system like the back of your hand, but you're not coachable. You're not getting anywhere at all. You're standstill. You're dead in the water. You're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with no engine, no oil, nothing, no paddle. Right? You're gonna go wherever the ocean takes you. You want to have direction? Follow a good coach. Number 3, motivation. Good coach is designed so they can get into your headspace. They know what makes you tick. I don't mean motivation only as in, you know what, I'm so fired up right now, I'm gonna go run through this wall. No, but they remind you of why you got started in the business in the first place. They remind you of why you gotta continue to work hard every single day. They remind you that it's not okay to be complacent. They remind you that where you're at right now is not a final destination. It's not the end of the road, it's just a stopping point before you get to the next level. We all go through plateaus in our business, and that's one of the toughest things. I mean, 2017 was a great year. We saw a lot of people promoted. We saw a lot of people going through a lot of different things, and good and bad. But it was a huge down plateau year for Sophia and I. You guys might not have known it. Definitely wouldn't have known it, right? Especially her, maybe me, but definitely not Sophia. But Eric's always constantly there to motivate us. When things are down, right? When something negative happens, whether we know it or not, he's the first one to call us and let us know that everything's gonna be okay. First one to call us that, you know what, this only happened because of this, and you're a stud, you're gonna do better, and life's gonna be better. All right, number 4, they're gonna be your biggest cheerleader. I think the coolest thing in the world is having somebody that celebrates your wins more than you do. I've never really experienced that in my life. Right? I was a tennis player. I did pretty well. I was top 100 in California. Played a little college. I got a lot of trophies. I have a whole closet full of tennis trophies and whatnot. But I was always alone when I won. Right? I never had my mom around. My mom's into one of my games, and it was my senior year, in which I had to pull out because I got injured. That was the only game she was ever there for. It's not her fault. She was busting it, trying to provide for the family. But I can remember every single time that I've gotten any sort of recognition, Eric is more excited than anybody in the room. He's giddy. Like literally, when I hit SMD, and we're at Wolf Bowl, I got carried up, he's introducing me, he could hardly contain himself. Eric is very poised, he's very ready. I mean, when he speaks, you know that he's a professional. Yeah. But even that day, he was kind of getting caught up on his words because he was so excited. I mean, getting carried up, on stage was one thing, and being recognized in front of thousands of people, that was great too. That helped build my identity. But the fact that I know that I have somebody in my corner that is going to cheer the hardest for me, going to back me up when I need it the most, that's worth all the money that I've made. I can give all the money back that I've made from WFG because I know I have a person that's going to not let me get to the bottom and stay at the bottom. So you have to do the same thing for your people. Do your people know that you're going to be there for them when chips are down? Do people on your team know that you're going to be the loudest, the proudest people when they win? Yes. Right? When you get a Fast Start award, it's just a Fast Start award. Is it like that? Or is it, man, that's awesome, this is first of many, and the next one's right around the corner. Yeah. And you celebrate it. Yeah. Right? You gotta be excited. Because if you can't be excited for them, you can't cheer for them, how are they ever gonna be able to cheer for themselves and more importantly, the teammates that you eventually have? Yeah. Right? You gotta be the biggest cheerleader. Number 5, they're an advisor and an assessor. Now, advisor, if you were in this room and you know how to do a KTP, you know how to do a one-on-one, you know how to do a hiring interview, you know how to do an AMA, you know how to do anything related to WFG, it was because Eric taught one of us, either directly or indirectly. Yeah. Right? I know for a fact that if I just came into the business, here's the code number, here's the license, figure it out. There's no way in heck I would be able to accomplish 1% of any of the things that I've been able to accomplish the last 5 years, right? But because he took the time to coach us, to train us in the little things that we didn't know, we need to know, and need to get good at the skills required, we're able to move forward. Now, advisor and assessor are completely different, right? An assessor is after you're trained, you know how to do an interview, you know how to close business, you know all the little presentations that we have to know, then he evaluates your performance and then he holds you accountable. Man, I'm so thankful that he never went easy on me. Oh yeah. Ever. If you think about, if we were to list out the top 10 the worst chew outs on his list the last 6 years since this hierarchy really blew up, I probably have 9 out of those 10 spots. No joke. Right? Yesterday he was asking me about his talk. It's like, all right, these are the words, right? Intensity, relentless. I forgot the other 2, focus, right? And the first thing I was like, all right, Norco. Right? And he knows this. We kind of start chuckling about it because he gave me 10 new orifices that day and no idea how to fill them back up. But see, that's the assessor. He's holding me accountable. You need somebody to hold you accountable. What goes unchecked long term goes rampant. It just completely disappears. Either that or it gets really bad. Think about your health. If you're not consistently checking your health, not consistently monitoring your health, naturally, what's the trend? Is it going to trend healthier or unhealthier? Unhealthier. Think about all the things that we put into our mouths. If we don't focus on what we eat, you're not going to have very good health. Right? I know my weight I'm like this, right? I kind of balloon and 100% is because I lack commitment to my weight sometimes. Like I was doing really well and then my birthday comes and here, I want to take you out here, then we're going to take you out here, and then take you out here, and then take you out here. It's like the toughest month in July, right? And then August is super busy, and then September, and then the holidays, yada, yada, yada. It's a bunch of excuses, I know, and I own up to it, right? But the last 2.5 weeks have committed and recommitted to my diet. I'm already fitting into clothes I couldn't fit into.